Here's the clay process, especially explained for middle schoolers. So, clay starts in the mountains, and from the mountains, the snow melts, the rain washes over them, and it goes to the flatlands. And in the flatlands, we see canals, waterways, tributaries, and this carries the sediment from the mountain down into the flatlands, where it is dug up by people and processed. So, here you can see some pictures of people digging up the clay. A lot of times it's pretty dry and it is mixed and water is added until it forms a nice plastic ball. Clay comes in different colors and types. There's all sorts of colors and types of clay. In our school, we work with earthenware, but there's also stoneware and porcelain. So after we get the dry clay from the ground and it's processed, the first type of clay is slip, and that's the clay with a lot of water. It's basically mud. And we can put that into molds and pour it, and it becomes a slip mold. And that's the way a lot of things are made that are sold rather cheaply. Now, slip is also used to glue two pieces of plastic clay together. So you do what's called scoring or scratching the clay, and then you put the mud on the clay where you've scratched it, and you join two pieces of clay together, and this is how we glue the clay. The next level of moisture that the clay goes through is plastic, and plastic is where we want it to sculpt with it, to make it into whatever form we want. The next level is leather hard, and you can see in this pot it has a lot of marks put into it with carving tools because leather hard feels like cheddar cheese. It's nice and hard but easy to carve into, but it doesn't like to bend. As the moisture continues to evaporate from the clay, it turns to a bone dry stage. And all three of these stages, plastic, leather hard, and bone dry, and slip, are all considered greenware because they're just dirt. It's all dirt coming from the ground. When we're looking at building techniques, the first building technique is a hand-built technique called pinch pot technique. The second technique is a coil technique where you're rolling lengths of clay into snake-like forms. The third technique is a slab construction, so that's when you have a flat piece of clay. And the last technique is a wheel thrown method of construction. After the clay is bone dry, it goes into an oven called a kiln. The kiln is lined in a lava rock material called fire brick, and the kiln gets red hot. It's actually on fire, and the clay inside of it undergoes a chemical process due to the heat, changing it from greenware to what's called bisqueware. Like a cookie is cooked in an oven. It is no longer dough, it's now a biscuit. And so bisqueware is fired clay. Once the clay is at a bisqueware stage, in order to make it food safe, we have to apply a glass-like coating on it, which is called glaze. Glaze is silica or glass, water, and chemicals. It is brushed on or dipped, and then it goes back into the kiln for a glaze firing. Once it comes out of the kiln, it is no longer a chalky-looking finish, but a glass-like finish. Clay is a long process, going from the mountains to the rivers to digging it up in the dirt, sculpting it, letting it dry, firing it, and then sometimes glazing it and firing it again. Thank you for watching.